want to go first?
No, ladies go first.
Okay, let's start global. So my name is Luna Yuan. I'm from Harvard Business School, second-year student. In the past, I worked in a VC firm called Rotherham Ventures. Later on, they changed the name, based in Silicon Valley, and helped with some VR, AR investments, due diligence. And currently, I am the president of the Harvard Business School's AR VR Alliance, and we are building up the initiatives at Harvard to help the students get involved in space. And I also help a Chinese big VR player called Xiaomi to acquire contents from globally. And most recently, I started my own VR AR content education startup to partner with some Chinese VR AR glass manufacturers to produce educational contents. So I have a little bit of experience in both US and the China content side and the investment ecosystem. So that's my self-intro.
So I'm Shyam Kamadali. I've been on the investment team across 3 funds here in the US, Europe, and in Asia as well. More recently, I've been on the founding team of Tacti. That's a haptics company. You heard Stephen Domenico's a little bit earlier, so I've done a round trip. I used to be an entrepreneur, became a VC, and now I'm back to actually running a VR startup. And I can talk to sort of both sides credibly, hopefully. But happy to answer questions. But Luna, do you have a view on where is on funding? All right. So, do you want to say? Do you want to say something about this before I get started? I can talk a lot.
Yeah, I can talk a little bit about something interesting. I was just talking to our partner, the AR glass manufacturer called Shadow Creator from China. So I was asking my friend from the company, so where you see actually that, what do you see actually is the driving force for AR in China? And the answer is actually a lot from the government. So for the first time, most recently, there was this policy document from the General Office of the Chinese central government. In that document, augmented reality, virtual reality, was first actually officially listed as a strategic core area for the country to invest into. And 2 areas for AR adoption, according to that strategic partner we're working with, are tourism and education. And in education space specifically, this matches with the national agenda of kind of digitalizing the education equipment, the education and the training, and it is part of the strategic importance for the country to upgrade itself. So the schools, they're given the money to invest in this new technologies, and if they don't invest, they wouldn't have that next year. So there is actually this, you can say, the fake demand from the education space in China, which gives opportunities to AR, VR manufacturers as well as content producers for those markets. Yep.
Excellent, thanks. So I have an interesting view on this. When you talk about AR funding, there is none. Okay, because the reality is, as an investor, when you come and you've got to evolve a thesis about what kind of investments you're going to make, how you're going to, how the business is going to grow, meaning what is the business model, how you're going to exit it. With AR, as we heard earlier, the hardware silos that are forming, there's so much uncertainty around this that nobody knows how things will work. So this really creates a challenge for any fund with a life cycle of 10 years to say, look, I'm able to get into a company, put in a ton of money, and get out in 6 years. It's very hard to model that at this point. So we are having, even as an entrepreneur now, I'm struggling to find ready cash. Now I'll just throw some data out. The amount of funding, if you remove the Magic Leap funding, which happened over 2013, 14, has not increased since 2011. It's stayed fairly steady. The 51% of investments actually came from China, according to my source of data. So China, back to what Luna's point, a lot of it is being driven by Chinese state investment, and also the bullishness about the virtual and augmented and virtual reality space out of China. The other thing is we all need Magic Leap to succeed. Okay, it's like a lot of our sort of financing future for startups is going to be based on how well these guys do. And everybody is sitting on the edge of their seats at this point when it comes to what's going on there. So you've seen them become increasingly more open. More people have seen their demos. It's just a manifestation of investors' impatience with what's going on with the existing investment. So meanwhile, a lot of us building VR, AR startups, we're getting money from the NSF. We're getting money from US government agencies, other government agencies. We're getting money from China, like I said earlier, and strategics. The biggest source of funding, other than Chinese sort of no-name investors, has been the large firms, in the VR ecosystem. So that's sort of my 5 minutes. Yes, yeah. Happy to answer questions. Okay.
John said no questions.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
All right, give him the hand.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
I'll talk to you.